Hi, Facebook, and everybody else. If you're watching this on the website or YouTube or anywhere else, welcome. So I asked a really interesting question the other day. I asked around some of my social channels, some of my social networks. Does every business need a website in every situation, whether they're big or small? Now, first things first, we build marketing machines. That's what Real Inbound does. We build websites, we build CRM systems, we build sales enablement, marketing automation. That's what we do. So we fundamentally believe that almost all businesses need a website. But I'm becoming increasingly of the opinion that that website needs to work really hard for the business. And in fact, you need to carefully consider, if you're a business of a certain type, whether or not you need a website at all. So granted, the website should be the foundation of all your business, all of your marketing. A website should be the foundation of your brand. A website is like your bricks and mortar shop, but then it requires investment. If you're going to have it working and you're going to have it working well, you need to spend money on it, you need to maintain it, and you need to drive traffic to it. Otherwise, it's almost pointless having it. And this is sort of where I'm coming from. For certain types of business, and maybe for certain sizes of business, you might actually be better served using social media. So setting up a Facebook shop or an Instagram shop, or even shopping via Pinterest, if that suits, is an ideal place to meet and mix with your community or your customers, to communicate with them, to serve them, to answer their questions, and to allow them to buy really quickly, very, very easily. I used to say that websites were great for credibility. If you're a small business and somebody's going to search for you on Google, then you need to have a website. Otherwise, they're going to think you're a bit weird. And I sort of still buy that to an extent. But what if you land on a website that is clearly a Wix special? Nothing against Wix, but it's a one-pager, it's got no functionality, hasn't been updated for a while, maybe is out of date in terms of the design as well. That doesn't really paint a great picture for your company. Whereas a completely fresh, great, polished, optimized social media page, a Facebook page, for instance, can look hugely professional right now and clearly be completely up to date. Not only that, it's already got tools built in that will allow you to communicate with your customers, usually instantly, because you're probably walking around with your phone. And if you get a message on Facebook Messenger or a comment on your page, you can action it directly. If you have a website that doesn't even accept comments or doesn't have any other opportunity for people to interact, I'm starting to ask myself, well, what's the point really of having one? And then I think people always say, well, if you go on social media, there's a good chance you'll lose all your content. There's just as much of a chance that you'll lose content on a website. If your website is poorly maintained, it's not up to date with the latest security, there's every chance that it could get attacked. You could be hacked, it could get pulled down, you could have a direct denial of service attack, you could have a ransomware attack. There's no guarantee your website is going to be safe and is going to stay up there and active 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Probably there's more of a guarantee that your social media page is safe, because the Facebook servers and the Instagram servers, those guys have masses and masses of protection to keep them up and to keep your page up. Sure, you are subject to their terms and conditions, but that might equally be the case for your server provider, for your hosting company, or for the web developer who's built your website. You're never truly autonomous until you can build and look after your website on your own. So these are the sorts of situations that I'm thinking about. If you have a website and you're using that website and you're getting a return on investment, clearly that website is one of the best things you can do to drive your business. If you have a certain type of business where previously perhaps you've just posted up a link, posted up a page, and it hasn't really done very much, it's been a brochure or it's been there for credibility, then think again. You're spending on hosting for that website. You've spent a couple £100 maybe getting it built, maybe more than that. And maybe you've got a maintenance contract as well. You're paying somebody 10, 20, 30 quid a month or whatever just to keep it ticking along. What value are you really truly getting from that? What do I mean by value? What return on the investment are you getting? Don't listen to people who say, well, somebody searches for your company and they find the page. Look at the traffic level. Is anybody actually searching for your company and finding your page? Because if they're not, there's no point in having it there. If people aren't seeing you as credible because your website is cheap and cheerful and a little bit tacky and a little bit out of date, again, ask yourself, well, really, what's the point? What's the point of having it in the first place? I can be active on social media. I can be fantastically well represented. I can be professional and polished on social media. I can communicate immediately, directly with my customers. And of course, being on social media, you have access to a load of people as well. So the website, people tend to think if you build a website, they will come. If I put a website in cyberspace, people are going to visit it. Well, they don't. There are millions and billions and God knows how many pages of websites on the internet. The vast majority of them don't get any traffic whatsoever. If you don't go through Google advertising or go through pay-per-click advertising, something of that nature, the chances are people aren't coming to your website anyway. It's very rare that somebody will search specifically for your brand, and if they do, they can just as easily search for that on social media or even get pointed towards your social media via Google. If people are searching for keywords and long tail keywords to find your service or product, the chances are you're going to be outcompeted in search. You can maximize your website, optimize your website for search, of course, but that means effort and that means investment. And that's exactly what you should be doing. But I'm taking aim really at those websites that get posted and stay there with no real effort, no love or care or attention. They're just there because people feel like they should have it. That's the sort of thing that I'm really talking about. So let me share a little bit of insight here. I asked this question on LinkedIn, and we've had over 1,000 views of this this survey so far, and the result might surprise you. So the question was, do you absolutely need a website in business today? And as you can see at the minute, 75% of people are going with the relatively obvious, yeah, I can't do it without one. But a quarter of the people being surveyed here are saying, nope, they get by on social. They don't need a website as a tool. Now, what's also interesting is I asked that question on, I asked that question on a couple of forums as well. So I asked this on one of my business forums. Do you think a website is absolutely essential for all types of business today, big or small? And let's have a look at some of the questions, some of the answers even. Gareth here says it depends on how much growth and what industry. It depends on. Michael says absolutely. It's the first thing clients do when they hear about you as a company is Google you, and if you have a website that's down or under construction, it sends the wrong signals. It's a good point. Kenneth's been quite funny and says that either a website or a carrier pigeon, whatever you need. Yes, Carl says 100%. And then Kelly comes up with it. I personally don't think it's essential for all business. I think it depends on the business and your audience. And then Claire Rebella says it's not essential. It depends on the business sector and audience. Now, you can see there's lots and lots of communications, conversations, and discussion going on. And the long and the short of it is, what it actually came down to was it depends. It really does depend. And I think that's really interesting because what it's telling me is today people are freed from the habit of just getting a website, just sticking something up. And these are the websites I'm talking about, the one pages or the couple of pages. They don't even have a contact form on them. They've got no SEO optimization on them. They have no traffic coming to them. They don't generate any revenue whatsoever. You have a website that you're paying for, you pay to build, and you're paying to host that basically does nothing for you. You'd be better served putting that money, effort into social media. You'd be better served looking to get an ROI from social media activity. So let's have a look. Websites are great, as I said. Websites are absolutely fantastic. They're particularly good for driving business money, dollars, cash, real cash, pounds. A website, if it's not driving revenue, needs looking at. You should be driving leads, you should be nurturing those leads, and you should be converting those leads via your website. If you're not doing that, talk to us, talk to anybody about getting that sorted. We build marketing machines. That's what we do. 1 second, everybody. I'm really sorry. Live broadcasting. lesson. Don't have your dog in the room with you when you're doing a Facebook Live. So yeah, it's about capturing leads. It's about nurturing those leads, and it's about converting those leads into business. It's about talking to your customers. It's about maybe providing your customers with self-service. It's about finding out more about your customer, their customer journey, what they're interested in, what they want from you, what they want from the product or the service that you provide. You could do that through using surveys. What it's less good at, I think, as a source of credibility now. A badly maintained or badly looked after website does not give you any more credibility than a social media page, especially not if that social media page is professional looking, using all the tools that are available to you. Don't have a brochure site. Have a brochure. If somebody wants a brochure and they get in touch, send them a brochure. Pop it in the post or email it as a PDF. A brochure site that nobody goes to is not worth having. Check the audience that's going to your site. If there's nobody going to it, there's no worth having it. Or you need to turn that around and you need to start driving traffic to the site so that it can have some use, it can have some value. Don't use a website as a business card. Yeah, go and see us online. Unless that website is fully optimized and has a great customer experience, it's going to reflect badly. Great customer experience is built into the social media sites. It's built in. That's what they do. That's what they excel at. Think really carefully. If you just have a static site that is just posted up, I just don't see the point. I really don't. And I do understand where people are coming from, but I'm talking about those sites that just go up. And some of the comments in the conversations I've been having, people said they've posted websites and forgotten about them. They can't get into them anymore. They've lost the password. It just sits there. They've changed their brand. They've moved their businesses and the website is still there. That is not doing you any good whatsoever. Think about how well optimized the social media account could be conversely, and think about how much more professional you could look rather than just having a forgotten about static site. And that thing about, well, people search for you on Google. Do they really, again, look at the analytics? Do you have any traffic? Your analytics will tell you whether people are finding you through search. If they are searching for you to check you out, then they should see you on social media anyway, right? But if they are searching for you, they're typing your business name in. They already know who you are. They may be looking around. Let's look at Trustpilot or other reviews. Let's look at social signals, lots of likes, lots of engagement on the social media posts. All these things lend far more to your credibility than just having that static one-page site that really does nothing. While we're at it, let's have a look then. Let's think about why we should perhaps look at social media. Social media can look fantastically polished, fantastically professional. It can be great for your brand. Absolutely fantastic for your brand. You look at the influencer brands, particularly in Instagram, it's so easy to look super professional and look really well resourced and really well considered. The presentation is fantastic. You don't have to worry about the width of your images. You don't have to worry about how your text looks, because Facebook, Instagram, they look after all of that for you. You literally just have to type into a box and everything is presented fantastically well. It's a huge benefit to people, especially if you're not web savvy and you don't understand how to do these things. You'll get a ton of functionality with your social media site. You'll be able to book appointments, you'll be able to make sales, you'll be able to answer your customers' questions. To do that sort of stuff on a website takes effort and takes investment. It comes as part of the package if you do that on social media. So it's really important to consider all of these options, right? There's a lot going on in social these days. Social selling, social shops are far more sophisticated than they might have been, and far more sophisticated than that one pager that you just slap up there and leave there to get hacked, to be breached, lose your data, have a DDoS or denial of service attack, or even ransomware, which is even worse, where people pull your website down until you pay them to put it back up. I mean, that is not going to happen on Facebook. That's not going to happen on Instagram. So I think there's a lot to the conversation. Obviously, like I said right at the top, we build marketing machines. That's what we do. We are one of the very few web development companies that build your website in your CRM system, right? You won't find a bigger advocate for websites, and websites that return ROI, especially websites that attract and convert and help you serve your customers. But I hate seeing people waste money And it doesn't mean small business necessarily wasting money. Any type of business of a certain type can benefit from social. Plumbers, carpenters, generally tradespeople. You can book an appointment, you can talk to your customers, you can get payment off them, you can do your after-sale service all in Facebook. You should be doing it in your website. For sure, you should be doing it in your website. But most of the guys in those businesses aren't. What most of them are doing is putting up that one pager and just kind of letting it sit there as a brochure or for credibility or whatever. And there's a lot of money to waste, especially over years of having it up there with nothing going on. That is a lot of money. So I think takeaways from the conversation and from what I've learned, think really carefully about your objectives. Why do you want a website in the first place, right? What's it going to do and how is it going to justify its spend? You wouldn't buy anything else if it wasn't going to be worth it for your business. You wouldn't buy a new tool, or you wouldn't buy your premises, or you wouldn't buy new stock in if you weren't going to be able to sell it and make a turn on it, right? Why would you buy your website? Just to sit there and do nothing. Where are your audience? If you're online, it is really hard to get people to come to your website. Trust me, I know. This is what we do as for a profession. Try to get people to people's websites is really difficult. And the way the web is now working is basically pay to play. If you want people to go to your website, you're going to have to pay somewhere along the line, either for great content to be produced for you, or for great promotion to drive people, great SEO to drive people, great advertising to drive people to the website. Same thing goes for social media. Boosted posts, or just your community in the first instance. Fantastic. You're already there. And the advertising is easy to do, it's easy to set up, it's easy to optimize. It's easy to turn a post into an advert instantly. Doing the same thing online is much, much more difficult. How does your audience want to buy? If they need lots of time to consider, if they need lots of information, then a website is absolutely for you. If it's a question of booking an appointment for your service, if you're an oven cleaner or you're a plumber or you're going to fix somebody's car, you don't need week-long buy-in journeys. You need people to be able to get hold of you and get hold of you instantly. Is the site safe? Now, this is going to increasingly be a problem. Are you GDPR? Do you have a privacy policy? Do you have terms and conditions on your website? Because strictly speaking, you should have all those things. And if we're going to build a website for you, that's going to be some of the stuff that we look after for you. But for a lot of websites, small one-page websites, those things aren't even a consideration. Are they safe from data breaches? Is your WordPress website completely up to date with all of those plugins that you may be using, or even the handful of plugins that you're using? If those plugins aren't updated on an almost daily basis, guys, your site is at risk. Every day I see something come through from WordPress to say this function or that has been breached or that is now an issue. Every day, every week or month, something big goes down and you immediately have to patch it. There are people out there with websites that have never been updated. It's almost criminal. Is your website safe for you? Is it website safe for your customer? But the big question for me is it returning on the investment? Is it worth you having the thing? Don't think, yes, because I've got to tick that box. Somebody's told me I need a website. I need it for credibility. I need it for people searching me, all these things. So yeah, I'm paying my 50 quid, my 100 quid, whatever it is. All you're doing is saying, I'm going to move that problem away and I can afford to spend that much money on removing that problem. You're just wasting money. You might as well send it to me and I'll go out and I'll tell people about you, because you'll have more impact from doing that than you will from having a static website that nobody ever visits. Just send me the money that you're spending on hosting or maintenance. Send it to me and I'll tell people about your business. It'd be great. We'll all be winners. It'd be fantastic. Is your website return on investment? Are you getting traffic from your website? Are you converting that traffic into leads? Are you talking to those leads through the buying process, nurturing those leads so that they become customers? Are you looking after them after they become customers? The best thing you can do for your business today is have great customer reviews, is have people telling other people about how amazing the service was, what a brilliant product you have. And you can do that by making sure you're looking after people on your website. But it's an investment. It's an effort to do that. You could do that on social, like you talk to your friends. You do that on social as if you're sending a message. You do that on social like you're texting a mate. It's so easy to do it. It's not funny. To get a website up to that level takes effort. I know, we do it. This is what we build. We build websites for people with live chat and chatbots and help desks and self-service areas and knowledge bases and customer tickets and all those sorts of things. It's a big effort to do it. Your one-page static website sitting up on the internet doing nothing is not helping your business. Just think about it really carefully. Ideally, you'll use both. You will use social media and you will use a website. You will use social media to drive traffic to your website, and you'll use your website to do business. But please don't fall into the trap of thinking, I have to have a website for credibility. I have to have a website because people are going to check me out. I have to have a website as a business card, or worse, a brochure. Nobody looks at brochures when they're given them, much less a brochure that you put up on a website that nobody's ever going to visit. Okay, think about it. If this has kind of thrown up any questions, please feel free. Is the website accessible for those with disabilities? No, I've just had a comment from my friend Tom. Sorry, I got completely distracted with that comment popping up. What a huge, huge question. If your website is not accessible, and it probably isn't, I reckon 99% of websites are accessible to people with disabilities. It's going to be no use to that customer base, especially, I mean, most websites are aimed at customers with disabilities, for sure, of course. But generally, if somebody comes across your site, they're not able to easily read, or they're not easy or vision impaired, or they have other communication issues. Maybe the color of your site isn't right, so the text doesn't stand out correctly. You've lost them. They're gone. They've jumped. They're out there. If they're into your social media site, it's a completely different story. Thanks, Tom. That's a great comment. I really appreciate that. Ideally, we're using both. Ideally, we are driving our customers to our website through social, but just have a think about it. Instead of just sticking that one page up there and forgetting about it, think about what can we do on social media. Think about skating to where the puck is. Skating to where the puck is going to be, right? Social is gearing up. Social, in my view, social media will completely replace that layer of websites that are the shitty bottom end, excuse my language, of the internet. The £500 one pages, the £1,000 one pages, the ones on GoDaddy, the ones on a £30 a year hosting site. All that money is basically being wasted, right? Nobody's going to your site. Nobody is using your site. It's not making you any cash. You feel better because you have it, but that's not making you any money. Social will replace all of those sites. Effectively, websites for businesses will be what they should be, which is websites to return on your investment, websites to generate you cash, websites to look after your customers, websites to provide a service for your customer. That's what a website is going to be for. So get ahead of the curve and think about it. Make sure you're getting bang for your buck. Make sure you're making the right decision. Make sure you know why you have your website, and make sure that it is actually doing that. Thanks, Adam. Another comment. It's nice to see a few comments coming to the live. If you're watching this on playback, if you're watching this afterwards on Facebook or anywhere else, then do leave a comment. I will see it, and I will get round to answering it. It's been a huge debate on Facebook, on my Facebook profiles over the last couple of days. Loads of people coming up with brilliant reasons why they don't need a website. Lots of people coming up with brilliant reasons as to why they should have one. And like I said, I'm a fan. That's what we do. We build people websites, right? That's our raison d'etre. That's why we're here. Yeah, great point from Adam again. I may be able to put this up. My nan wouldn't trust the plumber if he didn't have a landline. That's a great comment. And you wouldn't trust the plumber if he didn't have a website. So yeah, absolutely hear this a lot. I wonder whether that is really the case these days. I wonder whether if I find you on Facebook and I find your Facebook page and it's active and it's live and there's lots of comments, there's lots of feedback, it's open, transparent, people can see that you're doing a great job. Why do you need a website? That just sits there and is completely static. Adam's making his point. Actually, I kind of jumped ahead there. So while his nan perhaps doesn't trust somebody with a landline or a website, his kids certainly won't trust if they can't find you on social. That's a great point, and I've not even mentioned that. There's a generation that lives in social media. They don't think of it as the internet, or they don't think of it as a website. It's basically social media. It's where their friends are, and it's where they're increasingly finding business. It's where they get reviews. It's where they're basically doing their world in the internet is on social media. Fantastic, Adam. Thanks. And Tom's come back in with another comment as well. As an accessibility consultant for a big organization working on governments and banks, Tom made that comment about the businesses needing their websites to be accessible. If you don't do that, you're losing it. You're losing part of, and an important part of your message. Thumbs up to you too, ads. That's thank you, Brew. That's an awesome testament to what we were talking about here. So there we go. I've rolled on a little bit longer. Well, Tom, I was just about to wrap up, but Tom's making the point here. You'd not believe how many websites are inaccessible. I can tell you, as a website company, the fact is no one ever asks us for accessibility features in their website. Nobody ever thinks of it. Nobody does. The only people I've ever seen do it are government organizations who are, by law, required to make sure their websites are accessible. Right? That is a huge, huge opportunity. There are a lot of differently abled, disabled, and non-neurotypical people out there, and they all have money. They all need to buy things, and they cannot navigate your website. They can't. They can social media, however, because social media is expert at engaging with its customers, as should you be. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up this time. It's been fantastic. It's an amazing topic. So just generated hundreds of comments and over 1,000 views of the poll on LinkedIn. 25% of people, which I thought was huge, 25 people saying, no, don't need it. Social is enough for me. 75% saying, yeah, of course. And I get it. I do. I absolutely get it. Websites are vitally important, right? But think about your business. Think about who you are. Think about where your customers are. Think about what your customers want from you. Can you do better for yourself, for your business, for your customer by maximizing social media? Can you do better for yourself by talking to the people that buy from you, by looking after them on social, by posting, being transparent, getting reviews and so on, rather than slapping up that one page or even multiple page website that never gets updated? It's got no interactivity. You can't even leave a comment on it. It's got a telephone number that's never manned because you don't want people ringing you up and interrupting you. It's not been updated, therefore it's wide open to abuse. And it's got no traffic. What's the point? What is the point? As I said, really appreciate your view. If you're watching this in the in the re-recorded version, the rebroadcast version, I should say, leave us a comment. It'd be great to get your perspective on it as well. I do see them and I will answer them. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff that I talked about, feel free to reach out, DM me. I'm more than happy to talk to you offline. Thanks very much, everybody, and really appreciate the company and the brilliant comments. And I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.